Hello, everyone, and welcome to Two Dogs Digs Tuesday Live Hall Pass. It's me, Craig, aka Bad Dog, and we're here today for our monthly review of things that have sold on eBay and some other platforms, maybe. But we're also here to talk about some little updates and things like that that have happened recently. A little bit about eBay Open, eBay's fall seller update, something new that Etsy's doing. We've also got we're going to talk a little bit about Free Shipping Tuesday, which is today for those of you who still have time left in the day. And we've got, of course, our special guest, our monthly man of the month. Carl is joining us for a review of what he sold and what we sold. So, hey, Carl.
Awesome. Hey, everyone.
And the other guy.
Hello.
So
I've been told not to talk very much. So,
wow.
No, I told you just listen, just leave. So that month again, another month that just seemed to fly by.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a short month because just the way that the weeks fell into was a 4-weeker versus this month will be a 5-weeker. But yeah, it flew by for me. Same feeling with you?
Oh yeah, no, it's going really quick now. It's hard to it's good. Like I know things have seemed to I don't know if my numbers actually have increased much, but it feels like I'm selling more now. So I can smell Q4 on the horizon.
Hopefully Q4, which actually I think we've had like 6 sales in the past 2 days, which is more than we've averaged, and they've been weird things as well.
Yeah.
That have been, some of them listed for like a year and a half, and just all of a sudden it came in. And I've just basically looked at Rick and said, if I've got something that's been listed for a long, long time and someone sends me an offer, I'm not even countering on half of them now. I'm just going, yes, I will take your money. Like I used to get, we had one thing that was up. I'll actually show it later on today. And it was one of those things that was up for like $120 at one point, and then I went down, I think, to 95, and I got an offer for 80, and I was like, take it. Not my normal, hey, would you like to split the difference? I mean, we do that on some things that might have been just listed brand new, and like the day after we list it, somehow it's accepting an offer. And so in that case, it's like if I have it at 60 and they offer 40, I come back at 50. But there's other things. If it's been there a while, and I haven't got lots of offers, and somebody offers me 40, I don't want to lose a $40 sale over $5 or $10.
No.
And I think Rick actually was over with Adrian the other day, and the same thing was going on. Adrian was looking at some things that were coming in, and it's like, oh, should I take this offer? And it's like, how long has it been? How long has it been working? Joan said splitting the difference rarely works for her. Well, it does. It seems to work, I guess, about 50% of the time for me. So, and it's usually at a higher end item. So, I saw something in here that I thought was funny. But so a big hello to everybody who's joined us here, especially the extra special hello to all of you who are part of the Kennel Club. So, hey, Janet and Lisa's here. Michael, Kathy, let's see who else. Heather. Keep going. Move down. Move. My little speaker thing's not going down there as the way it's supposed to. Joel, Diana, and Joan's here, and Dawn is here. Dawn just posted something. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dawn, but you went to daily payments on eBay, and I think you did a post in the craft group was like, you got a 37-cent payments. Dax from he's on Gabriola Island. Hey, Maddie Lynn, haven't seen that name. Welcome. Andrew's there. Sherry. Linda, Jennifer, hey, thanks all for joining us here for our hit 60 and woke up 65. Oh, I'm hoping that sales. Not like a Rumpelstiltskin kind of thing. Oh no, that was your mom that did that. Okay, so I just thought it was funny. It's a 37-cent payout. Yeah, that's why we don't do daily payouts. We don't want to know.
Week is good enough for me.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to. I don't want a daily payout and see nothing. I'd rather have
account is filled with tiny little transactions. Like I can wait a week at most for get paid.
Yeah. Well, again, it's like if you had 4 days of nothing coming in as well, it's just sort of like. Whereas if you at least get that one day where you've got a payment, then that's really good. So
I should make it once a month, and then I'll feel really good about my payment. You just have to look at the perspective.
Well, I don't know. What would you, Rick? Would you want to go to once a month?
No,
No.
I like the weekly payment. So then it's incremental. It's like, hey,
Even when they're like
some
small.
more.
So, yay! Because every once in a while you get that week where you had a good week, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, wow, cha-ching! It was a really good week, and you didn't expect it to be a good week like that. So, so this past week, last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was eBay Open. Carl, I know you didn't get a chance to go to it. I went to it Wednesday. I had some internet issues Thursday, and I was there Friday. Nothing spectacular really came about from it. No big notices or anything along those lines. One of the things that they did announce was their fall seller update. So I'm just going to do a quick go through on that with everybody in case you have been on eBay. Again, if you want to find it, you can go to eBay on the regular thing. Go all the way to the bottom of the page. Scroll down to the bottom. You can also just type it into Google. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, boy, it's a long. You'll see. On the main eBay page. I'm on community already. Sorry. If you go onto the main eBay page and you scroll down to the bottom, you will see down here. Oh God, it's not showing up for me. You'll see announcements, and then you go to the announcements, and you'll get to this page. And this page has all the announcements that eBay's doing, and includes on there a couple of things that happened in there. And this is the main one, which is just recently there's your fall seller update. So there's not a lot in the fall seller update. That's the one thing I like. A lot of times the fall seller update scares the heck out of sellers because eBay decides, I don't know why they do it. It's been one of the things that's driven us crazy over the years.
Yeah.
Let's wait until fourth quarter when people have probably 50% plus of their sales, and let's screw everybody around.
I've never understood that. Like I'm a programmer. In programming, we have these periods where you don't do anything because we're doing important stuff and we don't want to break anything at that time of year.
Yeah.
There's 3 years where they did it in a row in Q4, and it's like, what's going on? But
I've always been, why isn't that your spring seller update? So you can do something big like that. The biggest one that I remember was a huge screw up for a lot of people was when they got rid of a whole bunch of categories and folded them into one category. But this is really, there's nothing new of any real substance in this. So if you want to know more about it, you can click in here. The seller update had a few different things in. I'll just pop through. Revenue issues, registered business sellers want to sell to European buyers, social page now available. The sending offers in bulk on the eBay app. That is something that is relatively new. And for those of you who haven't done it before, I'm going to take you to the app and show you exactly what we're talking about here. This is the eBay app on my phone. And when I go into my selling tab on eBay, you can see right down here right now that I can send offers to buyers right here. So when I go into send offers to buyers, now it allows me to select multiple items on here. And if you do select, you can do it one by one, which is how they used to do it. But if you select multiple items on here, that's a good way. I can send offers. And then what you have to do is, because you've done it for more than one item, you have to set a percentage.
Right.
That's all you have to do. You can change the message in there if you want. You can allow counter offers as well, or not. So that would allow counter offers, turning it on or off. And you can automatically send offers. This is something that some people like doing. I'm not that keen on it, but what it does is it means that if I set this out right now with this 15% offer, and I say automatically send offers, that means that if somebody clicks on one of those 3 items you saw, they'll end up getting an offer from eBay that automatically gives them 15% off. So
okay, I was wondering about that. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, I've done it on a couple of items, especially something like that I have a quantity of.
Right.
And I go, you know what? I don't mind having 20% off this Disney ornament that I have 72 of. So anytime somebody clicks on it in a day or two, they're going to get a 20% offer. I don't have to wait to send them the offer. So I don't normally put it on, but you can. You can add a coupon in there if you've got a coupon. You get to review your offer, and it shows you literally on the side there exactly what your new price is on everything, and then you just send the offer out. So it's that easy.
On desktop, just be careful because I think it's automatically set. I've seen it defaulted to send offers in the future. So I kept it on because I thought, well, if I'm willing to offer 10% now, I'm willing to offer 10% later. But depending on,
let me get back to where it is here. Well, all these went into the wrong tab. Hold on a second. Go all the way over here and move you all the way over to here. Yeah, so if we do go, I can pop that in as well to show you if we go on there. So if we go into my eBay selling active, and in the active section, where did you go? Did I just lose you?
No, I moved.
Oh, there you are. There you are. I lost you on one of the dot. And you go into the active section there, and again, you can send offers on 56 of your items. And then if you click on the send offers, there's the thing. You again allow automatic counter offers, automatically send. So you can do it on there too. Those three are now there.
And sometimes it's defaulted on. I don't know why.
This actually took it too far for me because I want to pick the ones that I'd want to send the offers on. So I have to get to that quick filter thing and say, these are the 56 that I can send an offer on. I like doing this because then I do things like look at when did it end, when did it start, which is not as easy to do when you're doing it on the actual phone itself. I do like the desktop, but I do like the ability to pop in and do that. Hey, Kevin, and Adrian's here. Yay. Don just started using the auto offer thing. I'm not sure if it's done anything yet. Yeah, that's the one thing is you almost have to try and remember what you did set up the automatic one for, because you'll go into it and go, oh, there's a sale. And then you have to remember, did I send an offer out on that? Like, I can't remember whether I did. Elise is here. Adrian sold his last 2 nuns today. So talking about the nuns last time. He sold the last 2 nuns.
No more convent.
To the convent they go. Kevin likes being selective in your offer items. Yeah, and that's just it. You can choose one. You can do them one by one still if you want. And if you do one by one, you can check. You don't have to do a percentage as well. Elisa needs some help from Adrian. Toy soldiers that need appraising. Well, you can connect with him easily. So that's one thing that we did see from eBay Open, or that's part of the thing is sending offers in bulk. This is the one that always scares me. Changes to listing categories. I went in and looked at it, and it's really nothing. It's nothing at all. Dynamic bidding for promoted listings. I don't like the promoted listings advanced, so I'm not even going to go talk about it. I think it's asking you to spend money where you don't need to spend money. And then just fees and financials. So really, this is pretty empty when it comes to a normal update for Q4, which usually scares the heck out of us.
Good. Just leave us alone for Q4. That's all I ask.
I did see something that is on the Etsy side today, which I thought was interesting for those of you who do sell on Etsy. And that is they have introduced something where it is going to be, let's see if I can find that. It is an optimizing pricing thing where it's actually going to pick out items that you have, and it's in beta testing right now, but it's allowing you to see what other people are selling like-minded items for on Etsy. So it picked these 2 from me. So I can't control it yet because it is still in beta. But this is what it did for me when I took a look at it. It was actually taking a thing here, and it was showing people that I've got this stretch ribbing, and it's putting a block in here to showing me where I'm selling, shows what other items are selling for, and saying my price is way on the high side. The average is $6, and I'm selling for $14. Now, there's a few things that you need to do when you're looking at something like this, and that's, is mine, like in this particular thing, they may be selling by the fat quarter. I might be selling by the yard. Like, so a few other things you want to look at. But it's interesting to be able to look at something and go, oh, this next one, this Annie's Attic doll calendar, sells for something. They picked up things saying similar listings are between $37 and $41, and mine's at $10. Again, I like the thing when it flashes on this because it's showing me that it's nothing that I can compare against. So it's still in beta testing, but I still think it's a great thing if you happen to be on Etsy and you do sell. You can start looking at some of the things. And right now it's only pulling like 4 things, but it may help you with your prices.
It'll be interesting to see if it's better than eBay's version of that, because I completely ignore the eBay version.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, well, it's always something else completely different. So
that's true. Half the time it ends up becoming it just picked one keyword up.
Yeah.
And then that's what I think they did there, because the Annie's Attic is actually a doll pattern. And it looked like it put it against some dolls instead. So, and we also have free shipping on things. So there's lots of things to keep in mind. But I just thought Etsy seems to be doing more and more things that are making it a little more potential for us to consider more. It's like some better search engine things, some better promotional things. They're giving discounts if you sell from a listing. Like if you have put an ad up on Instagram that has a link through to your Etsy store for one of your items in your Instagram store, and somebody buys it by coming from your link, they give you a 4% discount on your fee.
Well, that's such a great idea.
Yeah, it makes you want to sell yourself more.
Makes me want to go on Instagram once in a while.
and the same thing. Yeah, it makes you want to maybe set an Instagram page up. It's making me think a little bit more about some of those things too. So it's just an interesting thing that, as I say, Etsy seems to be doing a few little things.
At least they're trying, like not just eBay and just kind of like, I love eBay, but sometimes they make our life a little difficult.
Yeah,
more difficult over time. It's like
the
other direction a little bit.
And last but not least, before we get into the what sold, just a reminder to everybody that it is Free Shipping Tuesdays in Canada for the month of October. So it's Small Business Month in Canada. And Canada Post is doing Free Shipping Tuesdays for the next 5 Tuesdays, including today. So if you go, you can Google Canada Post Free Shipping Tuesdays. It will take you to the free shipping page. You can send one package for free every Tuesday. Now, the difference is last year, they let you send one Canadian and one US. They eliminated the US this year. So it's now just one Canadian package every Tuesday. You can get free parcel pickups too, which I think we might try just to see if it works for us. And it's very easy on how to do it. You get a promo code for each day. You sign into Snapship, create a label, and there you go. Now, I did a little thing, which is the things you have to remember. So here's the quick rule review. You must buy your postage via Snapship. The promo code is available from 12 a.m. to 11:59 Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in the West Coast and you go, it's 10 o'clock in the West Coast, oh, I'm going to go get my code, you missed it. It had to have been done by Eastern Standard Time. You have to enter the promo code on your order page. It's for expedited shipping only within Canada. And then the package must weigh 5 kilograms or less, volumetric or actual weight. And there is also on that page, there is a way to figure out volumetric weight. It's really easy to do. You go onto there and there's actually on that page, how do you do? Here's volumetric weight. And then what's the length? What's the width? And what's the height? Calculate. And there's the volumetric weight. So everything is on that page for you to figure out how you can use it. We are going to try and use it for a couple of things, maybe a couple of giveaways this month. You can send larger packages as well. You just will be charged extra on those. And then the postage has to be printed today, but you can drop it off. If you didn't get a pickup set up, you can drop it off up to 5 days later. So again, try to take advantage of Free Shipping Tuesdays whenever you possibly can for everybody within Canada. So nobody in the US. The thing is, I'm just as bad because I'm old. And so I'm still inches and pounds in my head. I still have trouble with the kilogram thing. But most youngins understand it.
The only thing I would add for the free shipping is sometimes the Canada Post website gets hit hard. So I used it today, and it took me an hour before I was able to actually buy it was able to update, and I was able to get the free shipping. So just don't do it the last second, because
yeah. And Dawn said she thought they lowered it to 4 kilograms. No, here it is, Dawn, right here, up to 5 kilograms. They kept it the same. I did check that. Well, you haven't missed it completely today, Greg. You've got 3 more hours to order your label. That's all you have to do. And when did Canada go metric? Back in the 70s.
April 1975.
Oh, is that when it was?
Wow, that's very specific.
Long time ago. So, so now we're going to go into sales for the months. Hopefully, you'll find some things in here that you might go, oh, I never thought about selling that, or it's something that you see that's a consistent seller for us, and so it's like, oh, here's something. Might have been something. In fact, there's sort of a thing a little bit this week or this month of Carl doing something that I think we suggested, and then we are doing something that Carl suggested. So it's like we watch each other to get ideas on some of these things. The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, because people source from a lot of places, but we do source on places like Max Sold, and there's a number of people who have the ability, especially in Southern Ontario, in Vancouver area, and in a number of different states, you can source on places like Max Sold or on HiBid as well. And I just wanted to show you one of the things that we actually ended up finding. We were on a Max Sold, and I was going through stuff, and this was what I was popping through. Happened to be an auction that was on, and I went, oh, what's this? Oh, I wonder. And I bid on one thing in it, and then I thought, well, I should check these other things. So I went to this, and I Carled it, as we always say now. I searched the image with Google, and when I got into this, I got, oh, this is picking up things. What the heck is this? I did not know literally what this doll was. I just saw, there wasn't a bid on it at the time. Search image with Carl, and it came up, and it's a Mattel My Child doll. And I was like, I'm not familiar with those dolls at all. So I looked at this one on eBay, $80. I looked at this one on Poshmark, $49. I looked at this one on Etsy. It's sold. This one down here, $60. This one on Ruby Lane, probably $800 on Ruby Lane.
I know one person who sells there.
I actually went, okay, well, if that's the case, then I guess I'm going to buy it. And I bought it. Where's my bid? There. I bought it, the lot, for $8.
Sweet.
Picked them up. Less than 24 hours after I listed mine for $50. I sold.
Awesome.
So $8 US for 2. So $5 a piece when you got everything in there. $5 Canadian, $4 US. And literally, I listed it the day after the auction ended, and sold this one for an auction that lasted for a week. But I got the one bid for $48. The other one is still listed. And this was actually the one I thought was less. I thought this was worse off than the other one. So
that's crazy. It's so nice when you can get a nice profit margin so quick.
Yeah, it's so fast too, and that's that in your whole list it and like first in, first up.
Good enough.
Last in, first out.
Last in, first out. Well, yeah, I know. I can't. Last in, to me, I just think about the last thing that came in last year. I guess maybe that's what it is. Don has purchased amazing items on Max Sold for resale. Yeah, and Don.
Sometimes what I'll do.
Don does Carl daily.
I'm sure. I'm gonna pretend that doesn't exist. But one thing with Max Sold, sometimes I'll just put $1 bid in if I'm interested, just to see, because sometimes I'll forget. And sometimes you get things for $1, and it's like, oh great, I'm not gonna bid on crap for $1, but it's something worth my time, just to make sure I actually do a bid. Because I've also done I forgot to bid on this. Look back later, and then saw one for $2.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, no.
Well, we had a Max sold a couple of weeks ago, and it was just a small one, so we didn't bother broadcasting it. And again, we had people. One guy bought, I think it was one lady bought, I think it was 6 things, Rick, and all 6 things she paid $1 for.
Yeah,
but she didn't show
a
up.
couple of buyers like that.
She didn't
She
show up.
didn't show up at all. So
They're out of the house.
we got to keep our $6.
Woohoo!
Oh no, those things.
But we're putting them back on Max.
We're even using the same number.
We're using the same numbers. We're using the same pictures and everything. So, but yeah. So, and sometimes I know Adrian actually does this, and I've done this too. It's like the reason I bid on those My Child dolls was because I had bid on another lot that was actually about $20 that had a Holt Howard cat in it and a couple of other anthropomorphic things. So I thought, now I've got this, and that's what we hear. People have said, like, I bid on other things because I know Adrian's like this. It's like, I bid on this one thing. Okay, now I'm stuck going to this place.
Yeah.
So I might as well look at some other stuff and maybe bid $1 on it and see if you can get it or so. So
it's horrible when it's the reverse, though. You get the stuff you don't really want. The thing you really want, you don't get.
That's true.
That
does happen a little bit. Yeah. I think I have left 1 or 2 things at Max Sold or high bid auctions where I bid and just said, no, I'm not, because I was after these 3 things.
Yeah.
I lost all 3, but the $1 one that I got is like, that was just, I'm not driving across the city just to get that $1 thing. Donna's had multiple of people not show up at all. Yeah.
Hey, if you get paid, like my friend who runs the booth for me.
Gotta buy a serious item and bid on dishwasher detergent.
Oh, it was funny. We had so many one item $1 or $2 bids. Yeah. Craig and I had a bet. Which ones are not going to show up? I said they're all going to show up.
I said no, because the last couple of times, all the $1 people didn't show up. And what happens? This time, almost every single $1 person
every single $1 and $2 bid picked
in the first 15 minutes of the pickup. We had 37 pickups, and we'd finished over 25 of the pickups in an hour, and we still had an hour and a half of waiting.
Oh, man.
So Donna has a couple that she has she's a repeat buyer for. Lisa just finished a Max Sold pickup, and there were 8 lots not picked up. So, yeah. And I just saw something else up here. Hold on a second.
I can see being a pain if you have, like, trying to get rid of a couch or something, and they don't pick it up, and you're like, but what are you going to do?
Says, when I want to Google Lens, I say, I'm going to send Carl a Polaroid.
Okay. You guys are doing it wrong. That's even more frustrating. The Carl is on desktop only, not on your phone.
That's on my desktop?
No, the when you do the picture like you showed earlier with the desktop, that's what I flipped out about. It was never
that's Carlin. Okay.
Yes. You're doing it wrong. It's gonna bug me. At least do it right.
Well, no, but it's like you become it all. You've encompassed it all. You're universally.
You're like Kleenex.
Yeah, they got kicked out. They left Canada too.
So let's pop in and see something that you did pick up, which is again something. Well, I just say Joan said. I had someone not pick up a $35 item, put it in the next sale, and it only went for $7. Yeah, but at least you got $42 for it now.
Yeah.
Joel is going to do his first Max Sold in over a year, so you have become a verb.
Thanks, Adrian.
Again, I did it the other day with Rick in the thrift store. In the weekend we were down in the States, and I went into a place and I picked up something at a garage sale, and I literally said, "I need to show Carl this." And yes, I couldn't do it on a desktop because I didn't have my desktop with me. So I Carled you on my phone. So
I'm just going to ignore this. This is my method.
Here's something that you didn't ignore, which I was looking at going, what a boring mug. Like, why did you buy this mug?
You know why? Because there's some mugs that kind of look like this that have good value. And I should have looked it up in the show, and I can't remember what they are. But the second I saw an airline on the bottom there, then I thought, well, okay, this is probably worth my time. It was cheap. I've had this probably for over a year at least. So,
but you still ended up selling it for like $25.
I'm rich. Yeah, it was just kind of cool though. Like, I didn't think it was that boring. I thought it was kind of cool. I thought, well, okay. The second I saw CP on the bottom, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this.
Now, so when you picked it up, you went, okay, that's interesting, because it's a mid-century kind of vibe to it. It kind of looks like that stoneware, could be Blue Mountain-y, like that kind of thing. That's where you turned it upside down and you saw CP and you're okay, in the cart?
It was probably $1.99 or $2.99 kind of thing. Back then they had prices like that still when I picked this thing up. It was just something different. It's just not my normal Starbucks mug.
Arabia, Finland looks similar and sells really well.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what it is, because there is ones that kind of similar like that actually do well, but yeah, it's horrible. I'm just vague posting here because I don't remember the name.
What? I'm just going in here. It's like I just Carled it, and it's like everyone that's showing up right now is showing up as pretty well as a CP mug, so I won't.
Oh, okay.
So
who knows?
Now I've got one that is I talked about before, which was I think I talked about it in the Thrift It or Throw It. I might have been in Thrift It or Throw It, I'm not sure, but I did remember mentioning it, and it's because somebody in one of the craft groups about 4 or 5 months ago said, hey, watch out for stationery and things like that. And so I picked up, I don't know if anybody remembers, I mentioned that I picked up this little stationery set for 99 cents, 10 Country Companion note cards. So it's just little Country Companion note cards. It's by somebody, the artist's name is Gordon Fraser is the printer, and the artist inside's named, I think Kate Walsh is the name of the person that's up, or Kate Veal. And I didn't know what it was. It's just, but 99 cents, I thought I can't go wrong for 99 cents. And because this other person had listed this on and talked about it in the craft group as something like this, and it was, I can't remember the name of it. It was a Hallmark thing. I thought I'm going to go aggressive. I listed it for $35 and it sold in about a week.
What?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
Not only did it sell in a week, we got an amazing feedback from the person.
Oh, sweet.
I love this so much. I'm going to hold each one of these until I have a really special occasion to send them out. And it's like, so somebody was really happy with the fact that they got that.
How did you come up with the $35 price to ask?
I pulled it out of thin air. I just thought the person who had sold the other one, which was not, it wasn't Betsy. Rick, come on, you remember the one I'm talking about?
I'm trying to find it. Give me a second.
It was a Hallmark brand, Holly Hobby. It was a Holly Hobby type thing.
Really?
The note card set for $50. And so, yeah, Don't sleep on stationery. So that was it was something somebody else had done. And it was, again, in the craft group, they showed it. And I was like, oh, it might be a knockoff because it didn't have the Hallmark logo on it. It didn't have the Holly Hobby logo. And they sold it for like $125. So even this weekend, we were out and I was at somebody's garage sale and they had a little set of just stationery. Gordon Fraser, same company that did this one. And it was just a little piece of paper that was in it, 10 sheets of paper and a thing. And I grabbed that for like a quarter just to potentially flip it because I'd already sold this one for, again, $35 for
that's so good.
Old notepad. So this was at Goodwill. This was just sitting in the section in Goodwill, just in a stack of all sorts of cards and stuff like that. So, and it was loose in Goodwill. So I'm lucky that it even still had all of the 5 and 5 inside it and the envelopes inside it. But you can find those again. There it is. That was the one sold for $175. Betsy Clark, a full set of stationery.
Wow. I don't think I would look. That's so good. There's so much to learn. That's what I love.
Yeah, that's just it. It's all of this stuff is learning about stuff. And here's something that, again, I looked at this and I was like, what the heck is this? I knew it was a watch, but I was like, what?
Ben 10. I have actually found these quite a few times because they're not all worth picking up. but I always do check them. And you can find you'll find these on the baggy wall. They're not unknown.
And here's the thing that surprised me about it. This is disgusting.
Yeah, I don't clean anything. Like, I should have cleaned that one, to be honest. But you can't see it in the other pictures, so it's okay. No. I usually Windex
it. Not the big brown spots that are.
Okay. I'm not the best at that.
No, but that's underneath the plastic too, right?
Yeah, hopefully
that part's underneath the plastic. But I was just looking at it, going, "Oh, it's not even in the greatest shape," and yet you sold it for $25.
Yeah, so like I said, it's something you can find on the baggy wall. Some of the Ben 10 watches are worth quite a bit more. This is kind of like on the. It's worth learning, I would say, because my main emphasis, I keep blabbing on and saying words, but you're going to find them. That's what's good about this.
And again, the interesting thing is, what you always have to think of is, as time is going by, Ben 10, which was out in the mid-2000s, that is actually 16 years ago. So the people who may have watched it at 8 or 9 are now in their 20s when they may have some disposable income. That's the wild thing about as time goes by. You get things that you think, well, that was just recently. It's not even vintage. It came out in 2008. Well, that's the whole thing about Monster High dolls is a perfect example. They only launched in 2010. And now they're having a huge resurgence in 2023, only 13 years later. And the people who are collecting them are all the 8 and 10-year-old girls who played with them who are now in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And they're buying the $100+ dolls that are coming out.
There's even some Paw Patrol stuff worth some money too out there as well. But
having said she's never heard of Ben 10. If you look it up, it was. I'm not sure if it was Disney or not, but now you bought that, and I did show, but it's the same sort of world. This was something I bought at a garage sale with a bunch of other Star Trek or Star Wars stuff, and it happened to be in the bottom of it. This was a Star Trek phaser. Now the interesting thing is it didn't work. We tried batteries. We could not get it to work at all. It's from 2009. So again, not that old, but it had a light in it. What's supposed to have happened with it, though, is when you press this button here, the blue and the red light flip around. Right. Now, Rick did put in a video. It just isn't showing up here for some reason, probably because it's ended. But it didn't work. And yet I still managed to sell it for $20. And I have one more of them as well. And we've got positive feedback on it already.
Why did you pick auction?
I picked an auction because I thought if it is, I picked the price because it was from 2009.
Right.
So I have a tendency to do that. I don't know. It's just me. I like putting things with weird numbers. And I thought I put it on auction because the last time we did a couple of other Star Trek toys that weren't working, I got way more money than I would have thought for a non-working toy. So I thought I'm going to put it on at $20. If I don't get the $20, fine. But if all of a sudden it's a thing, and this particular gun actually sells for $50 to $60 when it's working, and $100+ if it's in the package. So I thought it might go up, but it didn't.
Okay.
I do have another one though, and I'll probably, as soon as I find it, because I know I bought 2 of these at the same time from this one person. Put your Carl on stun.
Like, I get weird stuff too. It's like this weird thing here. This is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Is it?
Yeah, this is Shredder. No, not Shredder. Splinter?
It is Splinter.
Master Splinter, right? It's from like 1989 or something like this. Like how much is that worth? There's no comp. There's nothing like that. So that's the sort of thing I'm going to put on auction too, because it can be really hard to value this stuff. Is it worth $20? Is it worth $200?
Yeah.
Is it worth more? Like,
and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has a movie that just came out again just now. It's just coming out onto the streaming services as well. So, and Halloween is coming up. So you should get that up now. Try and get that up this week.
Yeah, I will actually do it because it's for someone else, which means I have responsibility to someone else, which will actually make me do it.
Now, next one I'm going to show is actually sort of a spin-off. It's one of mine, but it's a spin-off from yours. I showed your watch. Well, yeah. I thought I'm going to show an empty watch case. So I found this. Again, it's things that you might not think about when you're out there and you see this. And I've seen people sell. One thing I've seen people sell, which I still haven't really looked at enough, and I really should, is sunglass cases. I'm going to try and look at those over the next month or so because I see them all the time at my thrift stores. And I've seen people pick them up and flip them for really good money. But in this case, it was a watch box. And I thought, okay, it's Swatch. Yeah. It's a little older. I couldn't figure out after doing some research on it, and I tried researching it. I even tried posting it in the Swatch Facebook group to see if somebody could tell me what actual Swatch it went with. Nobody could tell me. There was nothing in the paperwork about it that really told me when it was. So I kept it all in there, but I did end up, it sat around for about, I'll say 4 months. We had it listed originally at $35. I didn't get any notion on it. It came to 25, and that's where one of those, I got an offer of 17. And I was like, it's gone. I'm not going to try and get 22 out of it. I'm just taking that offer, and I'm running away with that offer to get that out of here because shipping postage was on top of that. So it wasn't like that. It was like I'm trying to get the $2.99 I probably paid back for it. So I only made $10 on it, but at least I made $10 on it.
Exactly. Like I'll think of things where I'll make 10 or 15 bucks still if it's new and packaged and requires no work.
Now, here was a surprising one that you gave me, Carl, which was, did I just click off of it? Yeah, I got to go. Hold on a second. I got to go back, find it. I just closed it by mistake. Where are you? Here it is.
Yeah, easy to ship. Makes my life easier too.
This is something that surprised me because this is not a typical Carl.
Okay, this is what I got from you guys. So was this the one you were referring to?
Yeah, this is not a typical Carl.
No, and this was inspired by you guys. So it was in the box. It had all the packing material. It didn't require any work, and I couldn't find a lot of comps for this. But they were asking $10, and it's like, okay, for $10, I'm gonna take the chance. Worst case scenario, I'll just keep it for Christmas, like that kind of excuse. But the nice thing is, like, it has, I don't show it there, but it has all the foam inserts for packing. And I made sure the box was in another box,
and it is Milroy and Bosch.
Yeah, I got that name from you guys, so it's like, oh, I know that name. I'm gonna bother, and that was less than a month, so I'm pretty happy with that. So.
Nice, $99. That when I saw that, I was just surprised. Like when you sent me, I was like, Carl?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, okay, I got
the dish.
I'm gonna go into the section I never go into. I'm gonna get my inner Rick here and like try and use my inner sense to see good stuff. And yeah,
there it is, Milroy and Bosch.
Yeah, it's not the most exciting piece, but it went.
And did you use that picture? Is that a picture? Did you put it together? Did you grab that from?
Yeah. So I think this is the only time I've ever done this, actually, is I grabbed it from somewhere else because I didn't want to put it together.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
I went, well.
That's Bach, not Bosch.
I say Bosch.
Bosch.
Bach. Bach is Bach.
Bach.
From Crazy Rich Asians. Bach, mother. So I'm sure that's spelled with a K instead, though. Well, no. So that was a really unexpected thing to see you selling something like that.
But your instincts were correct. That was from you guys, yeah.
And here's my instincts from you as you keep talking about camera. So on with the camera. I found an old camera. Rick actually found it, and we were gonna put it in Max Sold, and then because we just thought, oh, who cares? And then it's a Photo Smart. And again, with camera phones, you think who would want these things? But Carl, you made me think, okay, Carl said, let's take a look at these. And so we actually spent some, it had the docking system with it. It had the charger. It had the battery. It had everything. So we took a picture showing that it worked as well, right? So people could see that it actually was a working camera. It was in okay shape and not a big sale, but it was $35 that we would have put in a max sold for a buck or donated even in some cases, because
it also sold in a matter of a day. It went really quickly.
But again, I wouldn't have thought more about like a digital camera. And the thing was, we had this, and I don't even know where we picked it up. It just happened to be in a box of stuff. So I don't know if it if it was something that we were using at some point and stopped using. So it just sort of like, oh, okay. We didn't have to worry about it being in a baggie at a Value Village and not being able to test it.
Yeah, like when I pick them up, I just make sure that the battery's in there, because the battery can be worth a lot of the money in itself. But yeah, and like if you're picking them up for $5, it's the sort of thing you're gonna find as well. Is you can find them. Right? It's not like that. You know, the plate we just showed. I'm not even gonna say the name because I say it wrong. It's like you can't just go there and expect to find them. Yeah. But cameras, definitely you can.
Well,
$5. Yeah, there you go. $5.
Here is something this is more along your normal lines, which is
Donna. Groan. Oh yeah.
Well, no, it's not a groan.
No, it is groaning at her joke.
Oh.
I could have told her for.
You saw 2 baskets full of remotes, stood there a minute, and ultimately, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, remotes. If you're gonna see, yeah. Anyways, I do still check them and I still get money for them, but I won't just pick up any remotes. That's for sure.
Yes, and that's they could have sold for $1.
Yeah, that was my groan.
Okay. You didn't have batteries to test, and there were so many, and you didn't want to stand there for an hour.
Yeah, I have some rules about which ones I pick up, but I'll bother checking. Anyways,
so this is a bunch of those sort of painted miniatures. Probably a bag you all find.
Yeah, I think these were in my death pile for a while, I think. And it's like, because I was having problems figuring out a price for these.
Some painted, some not. Badly painted, too.
I have put that in this listing I didn't, but the listings I have said badly painted. But
well, no, because you look at them, and I'll show a closer picture in a second on them, but you sold them for $40.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what we're talking about badly painted. Like, take a look at, because a lot of people do the painting of them and then they put grass like around them. So these guys have got grass around them. It has a broken tip on the top. There's no face really on them. Some people do amazing work on these.
See, that broken tip, I don't think I even noticed. So, but usually I try to cover myself in my description.
Well, good used condition will have signs and marks from use. So, yeah, I think you covered it.
Okay.
Normally, anybody who wants to look at the pictures could easily see by looking at the pictures what's there.
Yeah. And we're not perfect either. I'm going to make mistakes.
But still, $40 for a bag of stuff like this is, this is one of the things that I'm trying to focus on again more. We've talked about this a little bit, and as we move into 2024, trying to focus on things that are smaller and lighter and easier to like get rid of than the larger things that are out there, because the larger things take up a lot of space. Sometimes can sell fast, but I mean, I'll consider them for a max sold potentially, but not so much for January. Rates are going to go up again for postage. So it's like, you have to start thinking about all of those things as you move forward on stuff. So when you can get small, light lots, things like that. I didn't show it, but in the past month, we sold 3 different lots of those Go-Go's Crazy Bones. 3 different lots, all from like a baggie, and all at like $10 a piece. And so it was all things that we made $10, $20, $30, $40 from that, from a little $3.99 baggie. So I'm always looking now for those bags of stuff to say, what can I get from them? If it's $2.99 for I've just got downstairs next bag you all haul, I'll probably show it, but it's just a bag filled with probably newer plastic Cowboys and Indians. But it was like $2.99. I'm going to try and see if I can flip it for $15.
Yeah.
I flipped army men. I found bags of these army men that had been donated in their bags, and they were $2.99, and I bought 30 of them for $2.99, but I was selling them for $25 a piece.
Yeah,
and they were just little light baggies filled with plastic army men. So that's the kind of thing is to keep your eyes open for everybody who's in the chat, is little things, light things. If you if you see them, take the risk. I mean, nowadays I always talk about the fact that a latte costs like $8.99. So it's really a lot of things are less than a latte. And so much stuff is less than an actual cold brew. Again, I almost bought one on the weekend, then realized it was $9. So I thought, no, I'm not buying that. I'll just wait for my coffee to go cold. Then it becomes a cold brew. This is another one that you picked up, Carl, in the same sort of vein.
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah. This is one of the few bookcase games worth anything. I think it's a bookcase game. I can't quite remember. I think it is.
Well, Avalon Hill itself is a
maybe not. Yeah.
Big name, and you sold that for $44.
Yeah, I just want to show this one's kind of a little fun, a little different. I like this sort of stuff. I'm not finding as many good board games anymore for some reason. I don't know why.
No, are you being pickier with the board games?
Like, I wouldn't say that. Like, I just, for some reason, things seem to come in cycles for some reason. Who knows?
I know, I'm the same way. There was a time where a couple of years ago in the Monster High doll category, I was seeing them every week. Every place I'd go, I'd find one or two or three. And then this spring, Jan, Feb, March, I was finding them. In the past 3 months, haven't found one.
I've been looking since the show. I have not found one.
Yeah, and I
saw
know
them all the bloody time before.
I know that but I know what you're saying. I go by the board game sections, and the board game sections would be like, oh, here's a couple of different things that have been interesting to do. And then now I'm going through it and going, no, like I'm not picking up anything in the board game section. Or if I pick up something, I'm checking it and it's worth $20. And it's like, it's a $7 game or a $5 game. And I'm like, I got to charge $15 to ship this because it's so big. So I don't want to parse some of those things out now, because some of the challenges with some things, especially like Monopoly, is everybody's piecing out the game pieces now. So there's so many individual pieces. And now I'm finding when I go into a Value Village, every Monopoly I open is missing its tokens.
So I found Stock Ticker this Friday, and Stock Ticker is a great game. I think it sells for about the same 40, 50, 60. But there was only the board in there and the money, none of the pieces, none of the dice. But I checked because I wanted to make sure. So that exact scenario happened to me this week.
Yeah, no, I keep checking when I see, especially when I see a Monopoly game that's like a different kind of Monopoly game, right? Because at one point I saw there was an NHL hockey, Go Sports, and I would pick it up because it had the little like pewter like hockey puck and things like that. And I used to just put all 6 of them in a baggie. Yeah. And then go, okay, well, if I pick the game up for $1 at a garage sale, I'll sell those for $15, and I could. But now I find that NHL game every 2 to 3 weeks at another Value Village or a Salvation Army or a Savers, and there's never a single piece inside it. So somebody is walking in there, lifting it up, pocketing those little pieces.
And donating the crap back.
And then either donating it that, or either that, or they're buying it, taking those out, and donating it back. That's another thing too.
I think that's happening a lot too. Yeah.
Rick says we're still trying to increase our average selling price. Yeah, that is one of the things that we're trying to do. It is a tough thing to try and do, but we're trying. But again, smaller items, more consistency. Again, we're still the people, just like Carl, we go and do whatever it is that's out there. We'll try and find it, and we'll go, okay, I guess I'll try and flip this.
I'll pick up something like this that I'll sell for like $20. I think I paid like $7. I'm not going to make a huge profit off of it, but there's no work. So for average selling price, I'm not going to be bugged by this sort of thing.
No. And it's the same with the Hallmark ornaments. I picked up some Hallmark ornaments, and I'm paying $60 for them, but I'm selling them for 75 or 85 US, and I'm paying 60 Canadian. So it's a $25 sale, and in a lot of cases they're selling really fast.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gone. I don't have to think about it. It's almost like I would take an order for one before I'll actually even go buy it if I can. So I do keep a lookout for that. I do arbitrage still, where I can make some money on things like that. One thing that we always end up doing, though, let's see, is we're gonna see if I kept this thing open here. Let me find it. I probably closed it. And this is Rick's notorious for this now. This is his big pickup, is going to thrift stores and finding vintage chip and dip bowl sets. So a chip and dip bowl set. Let me just get a picture of those things up here. So this is an example of just a general Amazon chip and dip bowl set. But there's vintage ones. And one of the things that we have a tendency to do is we find these and then we split out those. We steal, like we don't steal them, but we steal that from it.
Yeah.
And we separate it and we put the chip and dip bowls into our max solds. Because usually you'll find these chip and dip bowls with this holder for $5.99 or $6.99 at most thrift stores. But you can sell the holder for $25
Well, that's interesting.
on its own.
It's a lot nice. You don't have to worry about that breaking in the mail.
No, not at all. And so we've actually sold 4 of these this year. So we've had $100 in sales in this past year for a little metal thing. And then we've taken the actual chip dip bowls and we put them into our max solds. And we've gotten the $8 or $9 or $10 that we paid for the chip dip thing. We get that back in a max sold. And then we make more money on the actual brackets themselves. And sometimes you can find the brackets in baggies too. So that's the other thing too, is to look for those kind of sort of weird looking brackets in a baggie wall. It's like orphan Pyrex lids, as Rick is saying there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sherry picks up mildewed games at the curb to cannibalize. So again, it's just something else to keep an eye out for that you may not think. It's like buying something kind of like we're talking about with the games, but saying, well, let's piece this apart into something that we actually can use and sell a little bit more on. This month is Profit Pile Plunder in the craft group. So I just want everybody to be considering that as we're getting into fourth quarter. You don't necessarily have to shop as much. You do need to look for the stuff that you've got, and you probably have some stuff in your profit pile. So every week in October, we're going to be talking about a different thing to profit pile plunder about. And this week, we've actually said we want to see you guys in craft posting about big things. So I see if I can find the actual post in here. So this is it. So profit pile plunder. So take a look at this. So Kevin bought this. He's actually just listed a handcrafted chair. Like, talk about Heather went to the garage to find something, and he's hoping to find something big. Lisa, a foot form. So this is the kind of thing we're talking about, is find those bigger items that you might have put aside because you thought, okay, wait, at some point I'm going to get to it, and go, wait, this week I want to see some of those posts in the craft group. It is big. Yes, it's true. It is big. But I want to hopefully see some of you who are members of the craft group post some of those things in there. So I'm going to do the challenge week by week. And I love seeing other people actually answer the challenge, because we got a lot of people in the craft group who aren't really active. I'm going to see if there's a way that next week maybe I'll do my active thing and say, if I can see people post this, then they can be, at least in Canada, I'll use one of my free shippings to send them some graft. I can't send it to the US because that'll cost me money. I'm not cheap, but still. Maybe I'll just do it for anybody who posts. But keep that in mind, is look for through your profit piles, try digging through stuff. You can see Carl's profit pile is behind him. You could see, if you wanted to, it was earlier on this week, Heather put a picture of her dining room table because it was the first time she'd seen it in a long time. And we are the same way. Rick and I are actually going, wait a second. it's Thanksgiving this weekend in Canada. We have to get it clean for Thanksgiving dinner.
Good
So,
idea.
Hopefully you'll find something else like that. Donna's got Christmas blow molds that are going in a booth. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you sell them. I don't care if you put them on eBay or you put them on Facebook Marketplace or anywhere. Just anywhere you got something that's big, then I'd love to see if you could get that out of your profit pile and into a potential sale as well. So thank you for joining us, Rick.
I mostly behaved.
You were well behaved. You were very well behaved. So not sure what our topics are going to be over the next month. Keep an eye open for them. We'll see what we can figure out over the next month or so. I know we won't be having a show on October 31st because it is Halloween, and we'll probably be either doing Halloween in some manner or another. We might do another time. Big is anything that you can big is as big as you want, Adrian. It could be something that's a vase that you didn't sell or anything. Good incentive to clean off the table, yes. For Thanksgiving. So that's next Monday. Happy Thanksgiving, Canadian.
Thanksgiving.
It's a Canadian Thanksgiving. So thanks, Carl, for being with us for the month in review again. We'll see you at the month in November with maybe some new things, maybe some other things that we just sort of saw, got some ideas on. Maybe you'll find a chip tip holder.
Maybe I'll have to look now. I'm intrigued by how many different things are like that now.
Maybe we'll find some Villeroy and Bach.
Yeah, we will find some Bach.
Bach, mother.
Yeah.
Lover.
Thanks everyone for joining. A special big thanks to everybody who's watching us after the fact and to everybody who's a member of the Kennel Club. Make sure you join us in Craft, the Canadian Resellers and Fantastic Thrifters Group, or also known as the Crazy Resellers and Fantastic Thrifters Group. We'll see you again soon. I'll try and get a post up about the Tuesdays. Don't forget, free Tuesdays next month. Make sure you use your free shipping. Ciao.
Bye.